What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of the Megidolaon Podcast. I'm Yarly, and I'm here with Jack's Bag Maka and Simply Dad.
Hi.
Hello.
And we also, today, are joined by two special guests. The first one is LaRue.
Hi!
And the second is our artist, SMT.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah, SMT.
Hey.
What were you going to say?
SMT, can you tell me what's it like being a franchise?
Oh, it's pretty legit. I get all kinds of games, like the ones that don't release ever.
Where'd your name come from?
Well, my first name starts with S, and my last name is a word that's abbreviated MT, so it's SMT.
That's pretty sick.
That's pretty cool. That's like... His name is Shin Megami Tensei. It came from the fact that they wanted to make a new version of Megami Tensei.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's similar to me. That's similar to me because my name is Mac, and the first three letters of Maka is MAC, so it's like, oh, hey.
I mean, props to you. That's a better name than Simply Dad or The Streets.
Where did Simply Dad come from?
I used to watch this guy on YouTube named Simply Unlucky. He made Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and then I just took the dad part because that's what people called me in high school.
People in high school called you Dad?
Yeah.
It's kind of legit.
So, yeah, today, what I was going to say was, the reason that this episode is coming a couple weeks late is because we wanted to, there are a whole bunch of events happening this month, and we wanted to wait till after so that we would have more stuff to talk about. And the first of which that we want to talk about is the PlayStation 5 stream. So, what did you guys think of it?
I missed about...
I predicted Resident Evil 8 in the first 2 seconds because the chick, I think it was your sister or your girlfriend, the main character, it's the same actress that played Mia in Resident Evil 7. This is Resident Evil, isn't it?
Yeah, it's your wife. I think it was.
That's hilarious.
I missed about the first 10 minutes, so I guess I didn't see GTA or Demon Souls, so my highlight was Bug Snacks.
They're so cute. Oh my god. Okay.
I like the character
half that trailer. Yeah, half that trailer was kind of whack. I didn't really care about the actual human player or animal furry thing, Muppet looking ass things. But I cared about the rib monster that was walking around on a little rib bone. It's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Alright, okay, so I guess we'll do this in the form of top 3. What are your guys' top 3 highlights? Let's start with... let's start with Maka.
Okay. I'd say for me, my biggest highlight, I'll go from 3, I'll do 3, 2, 1. I'd say probably my third favorite, honestly, was probably Spider-Man Miles Morales, though the communication on what exactly it is afterwards has been awful.
Yeah,
you still don't know. It's been days, and you still don't know if it's a standalone game or if it's an expansion bundled with a remaster.
Probably a standalone expansion.
The most recent thing I've heard is it is a standalone release in the same vein as Uncharted Lost Legacy, which was DLC. Initially, it was supposed to be DLC for Uncharted 4, but then it became big enough that they could release it as a $40 title. And if that's what Miles Morales is, cool, but I don't think that's really enough for me to buy a console.
Is Spider-Man Miles Morales the Persona 5 of Spider-Man games? Or Persona 5 Royal of Spider-Man games?
It's gonna take your spider.
It's gonna take your Spidey sense.
That's it.
The SMT if of Spider-Man games?
Anyway, my second biggest thing would probably be Resident Evil 8, because Resident Evil, it looks good, it looks interesting. I believe there was a comment saying that it was going to be a bit more action oriented, which is a little worrying because you know how it's gone with Resident Evil
5.
But it still looks good. I'm kind of baffled by the fact that it's Ethan, because I don't recall people really caring for Ethan all that much. The main character, I mean. And then, but Chris as like seemingly an antagonist, I don't think he'll be the antagonist, but he'll be like a major antagonist. I think that could be like really cool and interesting, and it might make me actually care about Ethan, because then it'll be like, yo, Chris, what the heck, man? It'll just make me like identify with Ethan more than just what he was in 8. And then my number 1 was definitely Ratchet and Clank, because I just love the Ratchet and Clank games, and I was a little worried that the series was dead after the reboot or the remake, because just haven't heard anything, and the remake was really underwhelming.
Yeah,
So,
was it? I've only
to
played
me,
one, so I have no idea what the standards for that series is. So I just never paid attention to it.
to me, and like diehard, to like a lot of diehard fans, the remake was either just outright bad. To me, I thought it was good. It was just underwhelming compared to the other games, because it was a budget title. It was only $40, and it was, even though it was a remake, they cut tons of levels from the game.
Really?
Yeah, and the levels that they replaced it with weren't that great, or they weren't long. Plus, the plot is not a remake of the original game's plot; it's an adaptation of the movie's plot.
Oh, that is super disappointing.
Aren't the
then-
cutscenes just ripped straight from the movie?
Some of the cutscenes are, yes. In fact, I think most of them are. It's a good, like, in terms of like gameplay, it is solid, but just in terms of like the content and like it as a remake, it was pretty disappointing. Also, a lot of the weapons weren't new; they were just carried over from past games, which I guess like isn't. Some people are like, "Oh, that's like the worst, the biggest boon against the game," but like I don't think it's a huge deal to have like a greatest hits. But I still get the idea of like some people being disappointed by the weapons roster. Regardless, this new one looks good. I'm excited.
Yeah. All right. What about you, Dad?
I don't really care. I don't think I'm gonna buy a PS5 until like another 5 years. I definitely called Demon Souls though. I thought that was what Atlus was gonna announce at their PC thing, because I just didn't want to believe that the best Persona game is coming to PC. But no, I guess Resident Evil 8 and the Oddworld game looked pretty sick. I've never played any of them before, but like they look dope, and I remember watching videos about it, and I thought the concept was pretty cool. It's interesting to see how a really old ass franchise is going to transition to the PS5, but I look forward to it.
Yeah, Oddworld looked brutal. It looked brutal. It looked like dark, but like still kind of like charming. But it just looked like brutal for what it's going for, without getting too like grotesque.
That train scene was sick. I don't know if it's a remake or a new game. I was really confused
it's a
on
new
that.
game, but I think they're doing it in the style of Abe's Exodus.
It looks dope. That train was sick, like really intense, high octane walking. Like damn.
Right. What about you, LaRue? Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it. I just looked at the highlights or whatever.
Okay.
Because I was working at the time. But I guess the 3 games that really stood out for me were Stray, because I love cats, and if I can control a cat, that's what it is, then cool. If I can't control the cat, then I don't want to play it. I think they're going to release it for PC in the future anyway, so that's fine. And then, Ratchet and Clank was also pretty high on my list. I was like, cool, more Ratchet and Clank. Because I watched that movie, and I was like, this is not good. Why does this exist?
Apparently the remake was in development before the movie, and then once the movie was announced, they were like, hey, let's tie it in.
I can't believe the movie was that recent.
Yeah, it was like 2016.
Wow.
It was 4 years ago.
Oh, now I feel like I'm older.
I take that. I take not Ratchet and Clank, Astro's Playroom, and the reason why I put that higher is just because one of the last conversations I was having with translator Tom was about like PlayStation VR, and he was telling me how much he liked Astrobot, like that him and his family they loved Astrobot a lot. So I'm just like I'm gonna buy it, and I'm gonna pretend I'm playing with Tom.
Yeah, shout out to Tom. Thank you for everything that you've done. If you're watching this, probably not, but I love you, bro. You deserve better.
Yeah, Tom for life. And then my number one is Demon Souls. It's always been my favorite of the Souls series. So I'm really hyped for it, especially because it's like a ground up remake. Even the trailer itself is a remake of the original announcement trailer. Like it has it's like almost frame by frame. It's so crazy. The only thing that I'm worried about is it looks too happy or too bright, because like for instance the Tower Knight scene is like really bright and fogless, which the whole point of the game is that the fog is taking over. So hopefully it's not too weird.
Is it possible that they might be doing a thing where the fog gets heavy, like it starts off early on where there's not a whole lot of fog, and then as it goes on, it gets foggier and foggier to the point where it's like what you would imagine?
Maybe. I felt like maybe it was just hard to render the fog physics or something.
I will say I heard some people complain. So this is being done by Bluepoint, who did the Shadow of the Colossus remake, and when Demon Souls was announced and I saw that complaint that the game wasn't foggy enough, I saw some people say that was actually a problem with the Shadow of the Colossus remake as well, is that a lot of areas that used to have fog didn't. But I feel
well, fog is really common for like games with limitations because it helps you don't have to render things. So maybe they just assumed that was there for that reason. It didn't keep it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It literally tells you that the fog is taking over the world, so you have to kill all the demons so that you can stop the fog. Like that's. But I get what you're saying.
I will say, Shadow of the Colossus, the fog not being there isn't like a huge deal, but the fact that Demon Souls, like the fog is integral to the plot.
Yeah, it seems like a misstep.
That if it's like actually gone, then I just don't think they were paying attention at all. They were just like, okay, make it pretty.
Get this project out the door.
Yeah, so if there's actually no fog and they end up just messing that up, then this is going to be like the biggest blunder.
My assumption is that they did it intentionally so that people who, unless you are like a big Demon Souls fans, you're not going to know what it is at the start. Because even our friend Filthy, or my friend Filthy, knew he didn't know what it was at the start. He thought it was some other game that I can't even remember, and then he's like, "Oh, dude, it's Demon Souls!" When it like zoomed in.
He's not a Demon Souls fan. He's a Bloodborne fan. He don't count.
Yeah, he doesn't count.
Because like literally the first thing they do is that is the old one or whatever holding the ghoul, and that's like the first cutscene you see in the
You're
game.
A ghoul.
No. But I liked that trailer a lot. It gives me a lot of hope. I just really don't want it to be trapped on the PS5, to be honest. But I know it will be, and I think that's why I'm kind of sad about it.
Give it a couple of years after its release, and it'll be on a PC for sure.
Definitely.
And Sony of Japan developing it. So
yes, but Horizon Zero Dawn ended up going to the PC, even though that was in a very similar situation where it was made by a Sony-owned developer.
That's a good point.
Anyway, I'll be honest, when I was watching that trailer, and I didn't know it was Demon Souls because I just never seen the original. I've never played it. But when it gets to the part with the dude hanging from the claws as he's flying over, I legitimately thought to myself, is this a Berserk game? And then once I realized it was Demon Souls, I was like, okay, yeah, okay.
So it is a Berserk game.
Basically. Just let Miyazaki make a Berserk game. Come on, that's clearly what he wants to do.
I mean, if DX2 can be a Berserk game, then so can Demon Souls.
Everything can be a Berserk game if DX2 can.
All right, so what about you, S&P? What were your highlights?
Oh, as I already said, I only started watching it 10, 15 minutes into it, so I guess I missed some stuff like Demon Souls, which seems cool. I've never played it. I'll probably play it. I wasn't super impressed because I normally only play RPGs. Jak and Daxter, though, looks really, really technically impressive. So I'm looking more forward to what they're going to do with that technology in the future. again, not a whole lot of the games they showed were super interesting to me, but that's my thoughts.
Okay. Well, okay, my number one highlight was Resident Evil 8 for all the reasons that everyone else has said. My number two highlight was Ghostwire Tokyo. I mean, that game looks really good. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, even though that's...
They showed it?
Yeah, they showed it.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Oh, damn.
It looks amazing.
Okay,
That
be
was like
real
my
with
number
me
4 or 5.
because I saw that and I was just not interested at all. Like I thought the concept was cool, but it looked kind of weird. Like all the areas were like really open, and like the whole idea of having like, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like a horror action game or just an action game, but like the whole point of something like that is like to have it be like a foggy, alleyway, or it's very secluded, or something that makes you feel very like trapped and enclosed. I just didn't feel that when I watched it. It just kind of felt like pew pew, shoot my fingies at the ghosts and they die. I just
didn't see it, but
I mean,
I'm assuming that, there's unnerving things about openness too. So
Yeah.
maybe they're going for that.
and like it was also raining in a lot of the parts of that trailer. But like,
I will-
what drew me into it was it looks like it's taking inspiration from a lot of Japanese urban legends, and that's something I'm really interested in.
Ooh,
Yeah, there's a lot of yokai. I remember they said that in the trailer or
I'm
something.
about to have to watch this trailer.
I will say...
Sorry, go ahead.
I will say that I got a similar... I did get a similar feeling out of the trailer, where last year when they announced it, it just looked like a straight-up horror game. Because, it's also Shinji Mikami, so horror game makes sense. But when they showed gameplay, it made it seem more like an action, like a first-person shooter with like a horror aesthetic. So I'm not entirely sure whether it's going to be like a horror game that plays like a first-person shooter, or if it's a first-person shooter with horror aesthetic. I know which one I prefer. I prefer the horror game, but it still looks interesting regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to see more to say more. But it seems cool.
Yeah, I was hyped for it at first, but I didn't really like. It left me a little bit when Ikumi Nakamura left. She's the one that became a meme last year.
She's so
Oh, I
cute.
think-
I want to give her a kiss. Oh, I want to give her a kiss.
Everyone wants to give her a kiss. She's adorable.
But her
Yeah,
saying
she's so-
I think she said that it was due to like creative differences or something, and like if she was going for something which seemed like she was going for a high quality game and she left, it makes me feel like it's not living up to a standard. I mean, I that's me presuming a lot though.
Well, I am a bit worried because it is Bethesda.
Ooh.
Yeah, Bethesda's
Yeah.
a terrible company. I hope they don't mess it up.
Yeah, I
Yeah, like
actually
the only-
didn't remember that Ikumi Nakamura had left until you said that. That changes a lot.
Her most recent thing is that she's trying to not so much go back to Capcom and like work there again, but rather she's like trying to work with Capcom to try and get an Okami sequel.
Extending
Going
the
like-
olive branch.
That's what she's trying to do right now. She's trying to, because she's been talking with Kamiya, saying like they've been wanting to do it again, and she's like the main force behind trying to get this going.
Sounds kind of legit.
Yeah, let's hope, because it's Okami.
Yeah, and then my number 3 highlight was a game that nobody else is talking about. Apparently, that was Returnal.
I don't even know what that is.
That
Oh, I wrote that down to look into it again. I actually remembered that trailer. I don't remember what it was though.
It was like that game where you're like alone on a spacecraft and then you crash on some weird planet and then you gotta survive, but you're also stuck in a time loop. I mean, that game looks like it'll be fun. It kind of reminds me, like, just the aesthetic of that game. It reminds me a lot of. It kind of reminds me of Alien, and which I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, me too. So I'm interested. I guess that's why I wrote it down.
And by Alien, I mean Alien and Aliens. All the other movies kind of suck.
That goes without saying.
Yeah, it did look interesting to me. It did grab my attention, but I think it's something I need to see more of before I like jump on board. I will say I got somewhat similar vibes to Control, and I really liked Control, but I think part of the reason is just because that was a Remedy game, and I really like Remedy. But still, I'm curious to see more.
All right, so what were your guys' lowlights? Well, I guess I'll go first. I think my lowlight was, I had 2 lowlights. The first one was Grand Theft Auto 5 getting re-released again for the PS5.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's like the hypest news ever. The game that's on literally everything for the last 8 years is coming to the new thing. It's so big. They opened the press conference, well, the show with it.
Yeah,
It's
we're
the biggest deal.
we're never getting Grand Theft Auto 6. I think I'm just
We
gonna have to
aren't.
accept
Oh my
that.
God.
I still haven't played 5, so I might pick that up.
It's good, but oh man, Rockstar needs to stop.
Yeah, and I thought Atlus milking Persona 5 was bad.
I think it might
At least they're
actually be
releasing
worse.
new Persona 5 games.
Oh yeah, I think it might actually be worse than Capcom with Resident Evil 4 and Bethesda with Skyrim.
Yeah.
Because unlike Skyrim and Resident Evil 4, they're releasing those games on everything, but every time they re-release them, they're not acting like it's the biggest deal.
Yeah, but
with Grand Theft Auto 5, it feels every single time they bring it back up, they act as if it's like a brand new game.
Well, I mean, but another thing is, like, even though Capcom keeps milking Resident Evil 4, we're still getting other Resident Evil games. And Bethesda's still,
That is true.
like, making other games, too. Like, Grand Theft Auto, the only other Rockstar game we've gotten since Grand Theft Auto 5 has been Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yep.
So, yeah, like, we're never going to get a Bully 2, we're never going to get Max Payne 4, or anything like that.
And they also were clearly trying with Resident Evil 2. With Red Dead 2, they were very clearly trying to take it in a similar direction by having Red Dead Online. And it seems as though it's nowhere near as successful as GTA Online.
Yeah.
But they were trying to take it in that same direction.
So, yeah. But, and my other low light, it was that dinosaur high school game.
Goodbye, Volcano High.
If that kind of game is your thing, that's fine. But like, was that really the kind of thing they should have shown at the PlayStation 5 like event reveal thing?
Oh fuck yeah! They gotta get the furries in there somehow. Come on.
The Scalies,
I don't know,
excuse me.
To me, it just looks like DeviantArt got a game. So yeah, those are my lowlights. What
You
about?
gotta have your BoJack Horseman animation on your PS5.
Yeah. What about you, Maka?
Go on. Goodbye Volcano High was definitely like a question mark to me, because I get it, because this entire presentation, it's all about like diversity in terms of like game genres, because there's a ton of different games on here. There are 3D platformers, there are shooters, there are racing games, there's horror games, there's like first person shooters. I think I said that. I don't know. There's a lot of different types of games on here. So having kind of like a quiet, laid back, very clearly artsy kind of game like Goodbye Volcano High makes sense. But even still, it felt like it felt too not out of nowhere, but it just stuck out.
Just out of place.
It just felt out of place. It didn't feel like this was the kind of place that you would want to like push it, even though I understand that it's all about like showing how much they have. Regardless, that was definitely lower down on there, but I think the biggest thing was GTA 5, because that was just the most like, what the hell? Why did you open with this? Why are you just why? This didn't need to be the literal show opener.
I think it's like the worst thing you could possibly show off. Here's the future of gaming. GTA 5.
10 years ago.
They literally called this event the future of gaming. So like, yeah,
by showing us a game from 2013 that released on the PS3.
This felt like it was done for investors and dude bros. And like that's it.
Yeah. So
Otherwise, if you took out GTA 5, you'd be opening with what was like actually probably the biggest deal. Because Spider-Man Miles Morales, even if it is just an expansion or it's like a smaller game, Spider-Man is actually the best-selling PS4 game. So opening with that is like makes complete sense.
To be honest, because again, I missed the beginning of the show. I think I've said it 4 times now. I assumed they opened with Demon Souls.
No,
that's what makes sense to me.
that thing was like maybe right in the middle, because we were waiting for it the whole time. Filthy was like, "Oh, is this Demon?" Every trailer, no matter what it started with, is this Demon Souls? They showed whatever it was called, like Snack Bugs or whatever, and he's like, "Dude, is this Demon Souls?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's Demon Souls."
Man,
Oh, wait,
Demon
they
Souls
showed
remake
Demon
looks
Souls
great.
after Bugsnax? How the hell did I miss it?
Yeah.
So, what about you, Dad? What were your lowlights?
The fact that it was boring, and I didn't care about anything that wasn't Demon Souls or Resident Evil 5,
Okay.
8.
Okay, and LaRue,
Yeah, I mean,
same
I'm not
deal.
negative. Nothing. I didn't hate anything.
Oh, okay.
But to me, a lot of the games look basically like just things I would never play. Like nearly everything besides the games that I mentioned, actually. So everything, including. Well, actually, no. The low light to me is the digital only console.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, I
the
mean,
idea of pushing that.
we'll talk more about that at the end. But what about you, SMT?
Me. It was mostly just they didn't show any RPGs. We got 15 frames of Persona 5.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just one of the animated cutscenes.
Other than that, I guess some of the games they didn't really show any gameplay. I was looking at the event for more technical stuff. I got graphic stuff. Okay.
That is true. That is true. I was thinking that there's just not a lot of gameplay here.
That's why Jack and Daxter blew my freaking socks off. It looked great.
Yeah, Jack and Daxter.
Oh yeah, y'all remember when they showed the Resident Evil 8 trailer and it ran at like 5 FPS for like half of it?
Yeah, what was up with that? Why did they think that was okay to show off?
It's probably they were just pushing. Like my assumption for why they would push something that bad is that it probably wasn't ready to be shown, but they're like, "Hey, show it anyways." And like, "Oh, hey, okay."
We needed hype.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the most controversial aspect of the console. What are your guys' opinion on the designs and the controller? Well, I guess
think
we'll
it looks
start
good.
with the design of the console itself.
I mean, I don't mind Seto Kaiba, you feel me, but I don't like the fact that it's white. Not, okay, you already know what I mean when I say it like that.
Real quick.
Yeah, it's gonna
what's
get
wrong with being
smudged, it's
white?
gonna get stained, it's gonna get nasty, icky, possibly racist. But no, I just think it looks
reverse
ugly.
Oreo.
Yeah, it's a reverse Oreo. It looks nasty. Why does it look like that? Who thought, hey, let's take this really sleek looking console, the future of gaming, and just make it look nothing like our other consoles before, but in a bad way. It literally looks like Takemi's jacket. Who posted that in the group chat? Was that you, Mac? You
I
posted
think it
one
was
where it
me.
looked. Yeah, he posted it like an edit, made it look exactly like Takemi, and I'm like, okay. And it looked like Kaiba's jacket. It looks like a binder inside of an internet route. It just looks stupid. Like if they just made it black, there you go, perfect. Uniform color with the beautiful blue lights on the inside that glow. Ooh, that would have looked so nice. But no, it just looks like weird.
What if the colors were reversed?
It'd look even worse.
Yeah, it definitely
I
would.
think they should just make it either all black or all white, which they probably will, but it's not going to launch like that. I mean,
Yeah, I'll
but then
probably
again,
probably-
you know, like if we're talking about console colors, I would prefer translucent green, just like the Nintendo 64.
Ooh.
What?
I think I'd get crystal purple if they did that.
What happened to clear? Like, what happened to just like clear and translucent electronics? Like, you know,
Ugly.
like
Because
you
they're
had
ugly,
you had the
bruh. They,
Nintendo
like-
64, you had the
Ugly, they look cool as hell.
you had the Game Boy Color. Those looked cool. It's like, why
See,
don't they do that
okay,
anymore?
the translucent I kind of understand because you know that translucent Game Boy Color slab. You know the N64s, they look pretty fire, and I love
Yeah.
those Switch mods that make the Joy Cons like out of transparent plastic.
Yes, I was gonna bring those up.
But green?
Okay, well,
What?
okay, that's just the color I would prefer. I mean, if they did that, they'd probably have it in multiple colors, like red,
Nasty.
blue.
This ain't Play It Loud. This ain't the 1990s anymore, Nyarl. We're not going green. Black all day.
Oh, so you want
Goodbye.
translucent black?
No, I just want black. Translucent is
Okay.
over.
Okay. But I guess in terms of my opinion on the design of the console, I'm not really a big fan of it, and yeah, I also see it just like looking awkward being under my TV because like it's not I mean, it doesn't have a flat surface like the PS4 does, and it also looks really big. It's probably going to be really big.
Yeah, that's my only real issue with it is putting it somewhere,
Yeah.
where are you going to put it?
It just don't fit. It looks like the Wii. That's what I thought at first. Like that was my first comment. It's like the Wii.
Yeah, except the Wii.
They saw the Wii and they're like, how do we make this look ugly?
Except the Wii is
Because
tiny.
it's supposed. Yeah, the Wii is tiny. It stands up just like the PS5. It has like that white trim with the PS5. It's like it just looks like a really. It looks like the Wii's older brother.
Yeah.
It does.
It looks like the middle stepchild that's taller than everybody.
But, yeah, and in terms of the controller, I mean, I think it looks okay, but then again, I won't know that until I actually feel it.
I'm more worried about the controller getting dirty than the console. That's my issue with it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna assume that they're gonna change it, like give us like a PS5 Pro or Elite or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
they're probably just gonna toss something like that like a year down the line. I'll probably buy that.
I
then.
hope we get a PS5 Slim.
Maybe.
Yeah, that thing, that like people have like tried to work out how big it actually is, and that thing is massive. It's utterly massive.
Yeah, like someone did it
So-
by comparing the size of the disc drive to like the size of the disc drive in the other PlayStation consoles.
I think what I saw, the one I saw, it was by the USB port,
Oh, okay.
and regardless, it's massive. I think it might be one of the tallest consoles. I think it's actually bigger than the Xbox One, and that thing is a VCR or a
Yeah, what about the original Xbox? Pretty sure that thing's bigger.
That thing is massive.
Yeah.
I would need to do some more proper comparisons, but anyway, it's
Yeah.
I think it just looks. I think it looks stupid. I don't think it looks awful. I think it just looks stupid. I think they could have chosen a much better design.
I don't know. Actually, I like have no real negative opinion about the console itself, because to me, at the end of the day, they all just go under the TV in a thing, and I don't ever really look at it. And I think most consoles look ugly, like all the way. Like there's very few that aesthetically look cool. Like when I think of those, I only think of like the Dreamcast. Basically, the rest of them kind of look like trash to me. The controller itself, since it's basically an Xbox controller, like fused with the PS4 controller, I feel like it's going to be a good controller. It is just, I don't like that it's white in terms of, even if you're a clean person, like I don't play with my controller unless my hands are clean. Doesn't matter, because you're gonna rub your dead skin cells all over and it's gonna get all gross. So I don't like that. It's a really dumb decision, because they should know that gamers are not clean people.
Gotta have my Cheeto dust.
But
Can't miss the Mountain Dew.
and yeah, and another thing that's been like that's another hot topic of conversation about the PS5 is the price, because they didn't reveal it. Now the rumors have been saying that it's going to be either 600 or some saying it's going to be 700.
Yeah, I'm throwing it out there. $6.99, maybe $7.99. I don't see this thing being below $700.
I thought it was gonna be like $499, $500 maybe.
I don't think it'll be 600, because remember with the PS3, they got really cocky and they just priced it at $600.
$599 US dollars.
Exactly.
But at the same
that's
time,
true.
that was in 2006, and like
Yeah, it's a different time now.
600 back then was 700 today.
Money kind of hits different.
Yeah, but I feel like they might be more, even if like technically now $600 is cheaper than $600 back then. I think they might still be too worried or too concerned.
Because it's a lot of
might
it is a
still be
mental
too
thing.
soon. Yeah. Regardless, I think they're probably going to get cocky again. I think that we're going to get somewhat of a repeat of the PS3, because they just came out with a statement today saying that with the price, they're putting value over price, making sure you get a valuable product. And it's basically just a really good PR way of saying, yeah, this thing's going to be expensive.
Yeah, and I mean, another thing is they've already shown, like, they're behind the Xbox when it comes to backwards compatibility. Because they just flat out said it only works with PS4 games and it only works with some of them.
A bummer of the decade.
Yeah.
I was expecting full backwards compatibility. like full.
Okay, well,
I wonder why that's such a hard thing to do now. Why do
the
they...
reason they don't do it is because why would you buy their overpriced digital releases when you can just put a disc into your console and play it? Like they want to quote unquote remaster the game and then sell it to you for $15 when they're like, you're not going to do that. You're not going to buy that if you could just go to the store and like get Ratchet and Clank or Jack and Daxter or whatever for like $3. Which it sucks because they're only going to remaster like the common games that everyone's already played. They're not going to remaster anything that they're not going to remaster any of the rare games like Rule of Rose or Shadow Hearts or anything like that. But that's what I want to play.
That's part of what's kind of concerning about if Spider-Man Miles Morales is actually just an expansion and included with a remaster, because then it'll just be going against the whole like point of having backwards compatibility, even with just the PS4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where they'll only allow you to backwards play PS4 games that they decided they're not going to port onto the new system.
Yeah, but getting back on topic, as for the price, I think that realistically, the disc, the one with the disc drive, is going to be $700, and the one without it is going to be $600. They're gonna price the digital only one lower because like they want to bait people into buying that so that they'll only buy digital games, and Sony makes more money off of digital games than physical games.
Absolutely.
That's why console manufacturers and stuff, that's why they're trying to push for all digital, because
it's super scummy. It's super true though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be at the minimum for at least one of them, if only because that Play Asia listing for the PS5 pre-order has it listed at 700, which I know Play Asia does, like they do generic listings sometimes for pre-ordering things when they don't have the number, but usually it's around the ballpark of whatever it is. So since Play Asia has it listed for 700, but it has both of them listed at that, one of those two consoles will be 700, and I think the other one will either be higher or lower, by like 100.
Yeah.
My main question is how much hard drive space is there going to be? Because even if say like the digital only one has more hard drive space than the like actual physical disc version, if it's not at least a terabyte, then it's not going to be enough.
I'm guessing
they need to have several terabytes with games being as bloated as they are now.
Yeah, like
exactly.
I'm guessing it's going to be 2 terabytes, but even then, I don't think that's going to be enough because, like, I mean, like right now on the PS4, we're getting games that are like 200 gigabytes. Like, I think Modern Warfare is around 200 gigabytes. Like, imagine playing that on the base 500 gigabyte PS4.
Yeah, it's just
how do you go from like one generation where games are like anywhere from like 5 to 10 gigabytes to being like in the hundreds range? How do you do that?
Optimization is taking a backseat to impressive visuals and stuff.
Seems like
and
it.
High quality audio.
Nintendo needs to share their compression software because their games are like absolutely tiny, yet they're able to get like absolutely massive games.
Yeah. I mean, they've always been like that. Like Wind Waker fits on a single GameCube disc.
Breath of the Wild is literally just 13 gigabytes. Like
what? That game is huge.
So it's just they need to share it. They need to share it.
But yeah, do you guys have any opinion
about
what?
I guess the price, storage space. Okay. The last thing I'm gonna say about storage space, like even if like there's not that much storage, if it's easy to expand, then that'll be fine. But if it's not, then that's not gonna be good.
Yeah, I've seen a group of people like buy external hard drives for the PS4 because the games just don't. They should at least, I don't know. What do you think like a reasonable like hard drive space be for the PS5?
Well, I mean, considering how big games are, I'm gonna say 5 terabytes.
That's what I was
5
gonna say. If it was
terabytes?
me, it would be
Oh,
5.
man.
Either
They're
have
definitely
5
not gonna do that.
terabytes or like actually like give a crap about compressing your games.
I think they do like 1 at max.
I think at a minimum, a terabyte, because anything less than that is just ridiculous to me. But I can't imagine them doing like 5 terabytes or anything. I don't think they would do that much, because even now a terabyte SSD is still quite expensive.
Yeah.
depending on-
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like
But they did
I've
say they
had
were
my
prioritizing
PC.
value, though.
Yeah, I've had my PC since 2015, and I have a terabyte hard drive on here, and I've only used 600 gigabytes in 5 years. So a terabyte goes a long way. I feel like anything more than that is just kind of too expensive, which means the console is going to be mad expensive,
Yeah.
and then I don't know, just kind of unrealistic. Not trying to.
Yeah.
Make fun of you.
Well, I mean,
but
I'm not saying that's what I think they're gonna do, but I'm saying like if they just want to like have like this big console that can hold like a whole bunch of digital games and physical games with their install space, I'm gonna say like 5 terabytes is what I think it should be, even if it is
So you think?
expensive.
So you think the one without the disk drive is going to be more expensive because they'll probably give it a bigger hard drive space?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, we don't. Well,
I
thing
think
is,
I feel like it'll probably be like physically worth more, maybe.
yeah. But I mean, but also more than likely they're gonna release like more consoles with different sizes down the road.
Maybe.
I also think that as well.
Yeah, but so I guess based on what we've said, or I guess what we all know, are you guys on team PS5 or team Xbox Series X?
I want team wait a couple years.
Yeah, that's me too.
If I had to pick, I would say PS5, but I am leaning towards wait a couple of years.
Yeah, none of them have good games. I think the best game that's coming out for like either console is backwards compatible Persona 4 Arena Ultimax on Xbox Series X.
Dude, backwards compatible Shin
shit,
Megami
you can do that,
Tensei
can't
9.
No. Bad game.
I'm on team PC because consoles suck. Especially
You suck.
Sony and Nintendo are like the worst companies in the world, and I only expect them to be as predatory as possible. They're not going to compress their dumb games because they want you to buy their Sony branded external hard drive or something dumb. They want you to spend the extra $200 to get like an extra terabyte of data for your dumb PS5. Sony deserves to burn. But also, this episode is sponsored by Sony.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You gotta mention that it's not actually sponsored by anybody. It's jokes.
They're going to extend us all of a PS5 to try.
They're all gonna send us a
hey,
cease and desist.
I mean, hey, if they want to sponsor us, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, why would they sponsor us?
Cause we're handsome.
It's true.
Good point.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for PS5 news. The next news, we have a very important piece of Persona-related news, and that is that Persona 5 Scramble is probably going to get announced for the West this month.
According to our friend Spencer.
Yeah. Oh, and I think Persona 4 Golden released on PC or something.
Oh, did
No,
it?
that's BS. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
Fake news.
And you can turn the shadows off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Make
But
the game a lot easier.
But yeah, so okay, so to be serious, yeah, Persona 4 Golden on PC. What are your guys' opinion on it? I mean, personally, I'm very glad to see Persona 4 Golden release on PC because, you know, it is the best way to play Persona 4, but it used to be like if you wanted to play it, you'd have to own either a PS TV or a Vita. But now, like, pretty much anyone can play. You just, like, even a potato computer can run this game. So, I think if there was any Persona game that needed to be broken free, it was definitely Golden.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Golden because I don't like Marie, but
just don't do her socially.
yeah, it's not that. It's that she's a part of the story. Like, there's no avoiding her. That's my issue with all those remakes. But yeah, everybody does agree that it is the best version of the game because it made so many like little itty bitty changes, you know, to the way it looks, the way it plays, the way
skill
it
cards.
Yeah, skill cards, which is something that I severely missed when I just beat Persona 4 a couple of weeks ago, the original. But yeah, I think it does deserve it because, like I said, people think it is the definitive version. It's just objectively better than the original one. So yeah,
maybe
the fact that it's stuck.
I was gonna say maybe there will be mods to remove Marie.
I was
Hopefully.
literally just about to
Already a
mention
mod.
that.
Somebody get up on that, please. God bless. I would be more than happy to spend 20 bones to buy Persona 4 if I can play the original story.
I think it's
all them changes. I'd love that.
I think it's totally possible that they'll just make a mod that just not only gets rid of Marie, but like
Makes
puts
her
back
die.
the original. Put that, but also put back in the original voices and that kind of thing.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I think
we've already
it's
got
totally
one-
possible.
Like Trace,
the
you mean
next two
like?
mods that?
Yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead. No. Well, I'll save it for later.
I was gonna just say we already got one mod. The next couple mods that are on the docket are essentially what Persona feet mod, where you can see all the feet of all the characters.
Very important.
Yeah.
Very important. And then Persona.
We were just talking
swimsuit
about his
mod.
fan fictions again.
Dear
I'm
Atlas,
excited to get
I would
more-
really appreciate it if you could put in a little mod that just, makes all the characters take off their shoes in the Shadow World so I can look at their stinky wiggly toes. Thank you so much.
Atlas, I really appreciate you actually putting in some foot fan service in there. Not a lot of
Like I know that I mean it's obvious by like looking at that tweet. If you all haven't seen it, it's just a joke tweet.
Yeah.
But like
Someone's
it's
actually
so
gonna do
obvious that somebody out there probably felt that way. Like, wow,
Oh, certainly.
I can finally look at their feet on my PC now. Let's go.
Well, there's also, I mean, I'm
You
sure
don't
someone's
see the whole
also
time.
gonna make a mod that just removes all the characters' clothing. It's
Just
like
remove
every
all their
game has
legs.
these.
Small brain.
Just like remove them from the game. Just make them invisible.
No, just
Could it be-
remove their legs?
Could it be possible? Here's a hypothetical. Do you guys think it could be possible that there could be like a big effort mod that just straight up recreates Persona 3 in Persona 4?
I mean, what's the point in that?
I could work on it. Shit.
To make it good, I don't know. To make Persona 3 less
Oh,
bad.
okay. I mean, I can definitely see like entire fan games being made with Persona 4 Golden. Like, I mean, if we're talking remakes, I'd rather see a remake of Persona 1 or 2 in 4 Golden.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But realistically, like the mods that I'm looking forward to seeing at least soon, I'm looking forward to seeing some more Personas in there. Like if we could get
I
some,
want to see custom dungeons.
I want to see Cthulhu
I
be a
just wanna see
Persona.
some actual dungeons in P4 at all.
Oh yeah.
Oh please! I would actually like bother to finish the game.
No,
I do not like the dungeon. The dungeons just. Ruin
It took
those
me
games
3
for
years
me.
to finish P4G just because I hated the dungeons. They made me motion sick because of motion blur.
Dude, yes. Oh my
Turn that
god. Yeah, you can turn it off. LaRue did not know that motion blur is bad in video games. He literally was asking about that a couple of days ago. He's like, "Oh, but does turning the motion blur off like make it look better?" And we're like,
Like yeah.
"Yes, what?"
Yeah.
How did I play games at whatever the normal setting is?
No,
I
it's
have a
okay, old
high-end-
man.
I play all of my games on the lowest settings.
It's whatever. I'm messing with you, but like, yeah, okay. That is one thing that I will say is the most disgusting, egregious thing about almost all the PS2 Mega 10 games, but especially Persona 3 and 4. Oh my god, that motion blur is impossible. When I was making my video, my eyes were melting at how everything that was slightly in motion just like nasty. The most disgusting. Why did they do that? Why do games stop adding motion blur to your games? Oh my god.
I think
Straight
P3P might
up.
have taken it out because I'm playing that and I don't see any motion blur in that game. Maybe it's just so low res I don't even notice.
That's possible.
Probably. But so as for the future of Persona games on PC, I mean, I think like I've heard a lot of people say that like this means that Persona 5 or Persona 4 is coming to Switch, which I mean,
I believe P4 would probably be. I don't doubt for a second they're going to port Persona 4 Golden to PS4 and maybe even Switch also.
I mean,
It just seems like it's gonna happen.
I don't think it's like at the top of their priority list, but I think like I think the biggest like thing to take home about this is that it shows that Atlus isn't completely hellbent on keeping mainline Persona exclusive to Sony consoles.
But wasn't the decision to point it to PC a Sega thing and not an Atlus thing?
I bet it was.
Might have
Probably.
Atlus Europe before they became Atlus West. So like Sarah, that person was one of the people they credit with being the driving force. Yeah, and I think that I really strongly think this game is ported using that company, the Eccentric Ape, which did the Catherine Classic port, and they don't list the Switch on any of the things they do. But they do list that they work closely with Sega. So I think that all the Sega ports are probably through Eccentric Ape, meaning that
Maybe.
There is like evidence, quote unquote, to support the idea that P4G could be coming to Switch, because if you use a Switch controller on the Steam version, it does change the icons for like the controller icons to be that of the Switches. But that's the Steam version, or like just Steam in general, just supports Switch controllers, and a lot of games do that. So I don't think that's necessarily evidence to support the idea.
Yeah, I guess it's neither here nor there. If all
being optimistic about it though, Persona 3 and 4 definitely got a higher chance of being able to switch than Persona 5. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I think it would be easier and cheaper to do. So yeah.
Because I don't think you'd have to compress much. I'm pretty sure the Switch could run a PS2 game pretty.
Oh, 100%.
It could probably also run a PS3 game though. That's the thing. It wouldn't be royal.
Okay, here's the thing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like, everyone's saying Persona 5 Royal for the Switch. Persona 5 Royal for the Switch. You think you can really run that game without being compressed in some... Like, Persona 5 Scramble on the Switch looks ugly.
Oh,
and that was
like,
I
thought it looked okay.
I think it looks okay.
some of the textures look ugly. Like, some of the textures look ugly in that game. But, like... And that was a game made specifically for the Switch. I think... If Persona 5 does get ported to Switch, it will be the original version, and everyone's going to be grumpy. Like, all I've learned from this whole PC port thing is that you cannot please anybody.
Absolutely.
It's never, this is awesome, this is a step forward for Atlus. You know, Sega's doing some great things with Persona and things like that. It's always, okay, now when's Raito coming to the PC? Now when's Persona 5 coming to the Switch? Yeah, but this isn't the game we wanted. Like, oh my god, I would. And
then you got the Sony fanboys that are upset because this game is now on a non-Sony console.
Those guys are the funniest.
Oh,
those guys are actually the funniest.
See,
I feel mean, but that makes me laugh.
I just don't think that this means anything about the Switch. I just think that it means that we're likely to get more of the Eccentric Ape helping them port more old games to Steam, especially because the Steam reports that I saw is that they're averaging about like 30,000 concurrent like players of Persona 4 Golden.
Exactly.
So that means that they probably hit around 100,000 sold already, which is really high.
And it's hard. It's been just over a day.
Yeah, just over a day.
It is the most concurrently played non-MMO RPG on Steam, like ever.
Yeah, exactly.
For real, that's epic.
I mean, I think like the whole point.
Persona 4, that's cool.
I think like the whole point of this was to like it was to like test the waters to see how well it would do, and it's doing very well. So I'm 90% sure we're gonna get more PC ports. Realistically,
and I think this is like them knowing for sure that porting these games is not only easier, but it's really profitable.
Yeah, and
it's like the same way Atlus realized that there's a market outside of Japan for their games when Persona 4, the original version, sold well outside of Japan. This is like them realizing, maybe we shouldn't leave it on.
Capitalize on that a little bit.
Yeah.
I think at
the end of summer.
I think at a minimum we're gonna get P3, but I think what's totally like actually possible is we could just get the entire PS2 backlog.
No,
on Steam.
I would love
I'm
to
thinking
see
maybe a Persona collection or something.
I would love to see
But
Nocturne.
then they'd have to localize Eternal Punishment portable, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah.
Unless
they actually want to do that. I mean,
yeah.
I mean that translation has been in and out of translation hell for the past 5 years.
Decade.
But I mean, I definitely want to see Nocturne Digital Devil Saga on Steam. But realistically, Persona 3 is probably going to be next.
I think at a minimum, Persona 3.
I think they're gonna do it portable though. Persona 3 portable.
What if they? What
I
if
feel like
they?
if they were gonna do anything, what I would like them to do is consolidate the content of portable and FES. I feel like it's feasible to do.
I definitely think it'll be feasible, especially if Persona 4 continues to do as well as it's doing right now, and like it's not just a blip. I think it's totally possible that they might put in the money and effort to just be like, hey, it's gonna be a bit more effort than just your standard port, but we're gonna throw in a special version of P3 that has like everything and just make it the definitive version.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what they should do, but I think that's too
I'd
much
rather
work
see a
for them.
remake like that, personally, but a port would be fine by me.
Yeah. But you guys have anything else to say about games on PC?
Bad game.
Game should be on PC. This game has outsold Persona 3 and Persona 5 Dancing already, by the way.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
That's not very hard to do.
Well, it's because this game is actually good, and those games are bad.
Yeah, Persona 4 is a good way to get into the series. So if you're questioning and you're a PC gamer, definitely give it a shot.
Deluxe edition, it's a ripoff.
Yeah, apparently it is. Didn't you say the music was that came with the digital soundtrack is not even like premium quality?
It's 60 kilobytes per second? It's like the lowest possible quality.
Wait, what? 64 kilobytes per second?
It's only 9 songs, and then the
what the hell
art book is like art from the in-game, and it's like
even
18 pages.
Even broadcast radio stations have better quality than that.
Yeah.
Whack.
Like for most of them, it's 128.
That's almost as bad as the Super Mario All-Star thing on the Wii. If y'all remember that, you put the disc in it comes with music, and it's literally like 10-second, 30-second rips of music from different Mario music. Like, I remember it was like Good Egg Galaxy. That was the one I was really excited for. It's like, man, I love this soundtrack. It's just 30 seconds, and then it stops.
What the hell? Like, what's up with some of these like just really bad soundtracks? Like how do you screw it up that much?
Yeah. Persona 4
is probably just a last second thing. They're just like, let's have a $5 extra special edition, and we'll just record the soundtrack from the game using the recording software on our phone, and we'll just put it on there. And then we'll just take some PNGs, put them in a little PDF, and that'll be the art book.
I actually remember reading about the background of one of these soundtracks getting made, and I guess there's a lot of shit they gotta do to get it to work. You gotta talk to the composer and stuff, gotta talk to higher ups, so I guess it's more hassle than it's worth to get good quality stuff.
Don't do it, then don't charge people money for it.
Yeah, get that extra $5 at the cost of me liking you, because I that made me hate. No, it really made me mad. I was like, this is only $5. Realistically, it's only $5. That's like what those Twitch thoughts say. It's only $5.
It's only $5.
$5.
$5.
That is a meal. If you can't give me $5 for my free entertainment, then I don't know what to say. You're very bad at managing your money. So buy my digital deluxe bonus pack with my 8 songs and my 5 pictures.
I mean, if they're watching a stream of a Twitch thought, then she's kind of got the right idea.
Yeah. And then on the other side of the spectrum, there's that one dude who was just like, "Oh man, this guy subscribed? Oh man, you didn't have to do that. Can I give you that? Can I give you that back? No, you don't have to do that. How can I give that money back?" And it's just like the most wholesome, like this dude.
You know, it's bad if I can upload the entire art book onto Discord.
Oh my god, you literally just did.
Oh my god!
Did you just commit piracy, bro?
Not piracy.
I'm downloading it.
You're gonna love it. All the you've never seen before.
I'm downloading it right now.
Man.
Oh man.
Welcome to the Megidolaon Podcast, where we commit crimes. Let's go do crimes, guys.
I want to vandalize something. I want to loiter.
Man, like, they don't deserve that extra. I was gonna actually get a refund just so I could buy it again normal, and I'm like, no, these garbage files, I need to keep them just in case I ever need to, like, I don't know, threaten Atlas.
Reference
like,
them
look,
for some
Save
reason.
them.
At least they're high res. At least the renders from Golden are high res, I guess. Question mark.
Big question mark right there.
Yeah. But
yeah.
anyway, let's get back on topic, and we'll talk about the last bit of Persona news. That is I guess it's not really news, but it's what we're expecting, and that's New Game Plus Expo, a Western localization for Persona 5 Scramble, or Strikers.
Honestly, that's the thing I'm looking forward to most right now. I want to know when it's coming out.
Yeah, I mean,
It's silly that they hold it from us this long.
yeah, I mean, how long do you think we'll have to wait after it's announced?
August.
I'm hoping it's one of those deals where we only gotta wait like a few weeks, but I mean, given what's happened, it's probably I'm guessing like
Fall.
late September at the earliest, and like early November at the latest.
I would say
late August, first week of September.
I'm gonna say late September, at the latest, early December, at the absolute latest.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I want to.
December to scratch that.
No,
Yeah, he just says no. I mean, LaRue is the smartest person in this call right now, so I'd probably listen to his opinion.
Can you
What
say-
do
I
think?
mean,
What do you think, Grandpa?
yeah.
Realistically, I think you're right. Around September-ish, they did say that a lot of this stuff was slowed down because of the Ronies. So I think that at worst, it's gonna be kind of like Aegis Rim or whatever, where you get the voices later or something. Because
Yeah,
I
the
wouldn't
English
mind that at all, honestly, because I've been playing Japanese audio anyway.
There's some people that were questioning, like, what if this happens to Scramble, Strikers, whatever they call it. I think it's possible, but I feel like if there is any game that Atlus would be like, no, we're not releasing this without an English dub at launch, I think it would be P5.
Yeah, but Persona
Yeah,
Q,
because P5.
strange
But then-
journey.
True, but this is like, unlike Q, this is like just straight up a sequel. This is like the biggest Persona release since P5, at least in terms of like how Atlus is treating it.
Yeah.
I feel like they wouldn't want to just throw it out there.
Yeah. I mean, I just
Although
hope.
I'd kind of rather they did, so I didn't have to listen to all the ads in English.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm still going through this Persona 4 art book, and I never realized how bad the Tier 3 Persona artwork is. Like, wow. It just kind of feels like they traced over some of it and then just added some like bells and whistles on there.
Oh yeah, I was literally as I was going through it, I was thinking it where it's just like all of these look so slapdash with like they looked way too similar to the second tier.
Well, that's
Yeah,
kinda
they
hard.
just took Yamato Takeru and gave him hair and like there you go, Naoto. I mean that's what she gets, the worst character in the game, but like yikes.
All right, so yeah, well, I guess on the subject of New Game Plus Expo, is there anything else you guys are looking forward to or expecting?
What is New Game Plus Expo?
Yeah, I don't even know what to expect from it. I don't hardly know what it is.
Yeah, me neither. Well, I mean, this is the first time we've had it. It's like it's basically just a fill-in for like a live event since we can't have any.
Isn't this the one that IGN's trying to do?
That was, game.
Maybe
I guess my next question is, when is it?
it's June 23rd.
No, this is the one that the ESA is trying to do as like a replacement for E3, I think.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe there will be a Nintendo Direct then or something.
Yeah, I mean it's mostly Japanese companies. Like there's Atlus, there's Natsume, there's Spike Chunsoft, there's Idea Factory, there's NIS.
Ooh, maybe we'll see some Steins based stuff.
Is Atlas there?
Oh,
Is Atlas
yes.
gonna be there?
Atlus is there.
But it's
Dude,
out.
so all the homophobic and transphobic companies are gonna be there. Let's go.
Oh man.
Let's go.
And also, I just pulled up the website. Actually, LaRue also pulled it up. Thanks. And like looking at this list of participating publishers, I forgot that Grasshopper and Way Forward were gonna be there.
Ooh.
Also, Inti Creates and
Ooh, No More Heroes 3.
Grasshopper. No More Heroes 3. No More Heroes 3. That's definitely gonna be there. Inti Creates. I don't know what they're gonna. I don't know if they'll have anything there, but I've always really liked them. They're kind of like an underdog. And then Way Forward is also awesome, but I don't know what exactly they could show off right now because they just released Shantae, so I don't
Maybe
know.
they'll show off some little game they've been making because they do that a lot.
They do. They literally had an April Fool's Day joke where it's like, oh yeah, actually this was just a real game.
Space Cat something or whatever.
Yeah, and it was like free, I think. It was either
I
free
think-
or it was really cheap.
I think it's called the Synchronicity Prologue or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Could be wrong. I don't know. Okay, so
Real talk,
Loki
why didn't they
released
just-
that on Steam. Just put that
Yeah,
on
for
Steam.
real.
I
Had
would
a
more than
bundle.
Release it anywhere. God.
just localize it, please, so we can get the non-Google Translate version.
My
glad it has
Black
some
Friday
little
killed
because-
my parents.
So I'm out here looking for ice cream.
Best translation. I beat that the other day. Actually, it's probably one of the most fun games I've played in a while. It's just genuinely fun. I wish it was longer.
I would
Yeah.
genuinely
Well, that's my
pay
issue
like
too.
I would pay $10 for that. Like
It's the best game
I
in the
would
Jack
take
Rose
it.
franchise, and it's only the second game. Would you believe that?
Yeah, we can
Mm.
kick you out of this chat. That's crazy. I can't.
You can't disconnect me now. Do something
LaRue's
about it.
taking
Kick
over.
me- No. LaRue, kick me right now. Kick me.
I can only block you, but I don't know what that. Anyway, is New Game Plus gonna have that? Who's the people that are doing the Danganronpa games and are like, you know what I'm talking about, the two people that did Danganronpa and Zero Escape? They're teaming up to do something. Are
I
they?
mean,
part of
two
any-
Q.
Oh yeah,
Tukyo. Yeah, I mean,
Tukyo.
like, yeah, they're working on something else, but Spike Chunsoft still owns the rights to the Danganronpa franchise.
yeah,
Oh,
they're Tukyo's working on. They're working on a couple of different things, but like
Yeah.
they have their first game coming out, or their first like visual novel coming out at the end of this month. Was it Death Come True? I
Oh
think.
yeah.
It's like it's the guy who did Danganronpa. It's the first game he's directed since V3, and it's like actually live action where like it's like a movie kind of thing.
Yeah,
Weird.
FMV.
Yeah, but otherwise their other game that's like their first game that's going to be not just a visual novel, Death March Club, that's supposed to still come out this year. I haven't heard anything, but that one's actually being like written and directed. It's being written by Uchikoshi, and like that's a game they're both working on both working on together.
Yeah.
So that will be the first time we'll properly see a collab between the two. Death Come True, I believe, is just Kodaka.
Yeah, and I don't think we're gonna get Danganronpa 4 unless Kodaka ever comes back.
I mean, I kind of want to see what they would do without him because
Well,
it might be. Really
me too.
really good.
Yeah. But
If it's anything like Zonky Zero, I would rather not. I did not like Zonky Zero.
I haven't played it. All right.
It was the game that the rest of the Danganronpa team made once Kodaka left, and it was mid as hell.
Okay.
That's-
All right.
that's
So
that.
we have a little bit more smaller news, and that is the Bandai Namco collection, which is that's confirmed to come to the West, right?
Yes, it's
Okay.
coming out as Namco Museum Archives.
Yeah, and then Megami Tensei 1 is coming out as DLC in Japan, so maybe we'll get it, maybe not.
Wicked. I hope we do. Jeez.
Me too.
That's one of the two I haven't played.
I feel like probably not, but I think it's something that like it would be really easy to translate and bring over, and it would be a good motivator for people to just buy it,
I'd buy it.
buy the
I would buy it for
collection.
that.
Yeah, I'd buy it for too. Plus,
Yeah, I mean-
if it does well enough, they could bring out even more Japanese exclusive games.
Yeah.
I mean, your mini by Game Gear Mini is just like a Get Last Bible, so anything's possible.
Yeah, I hope that comes over too.
Yeah,
I doubt it will.
Even
I
though
hope it does.
okay, what they're probably going to do is they're probably going to bring it over, but it's going to be different games.
Yeah.
That's my guess anyway. I mean, it might have Revelations of the Demon Slayer, but I don't think it's going to have that other one.
The bad one, yeah, definitely not.
Even though it looks like kind of a ripoff anyway.
Does it?
What, the Game Gear Mini? Yeah.
It's definitely a ripoff. It's like $50 for a thing with 4 games in it.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, I
just
thought you were saying that about Last Bible Gaiden. I was like,
no.
what is
Like,
Gaiden
no.
ripping off?
No. But, I mean, yeah, it just seems like collector bait to me.
fighting. I bought the super duper collector's edition that comes with pins of each game.
You're so
You
are
say
so
maybe a
dumb.
collector's edition, but I am a collector.
Yeah, who was surprised the collector collected? But yeah, I think that the that whole Namco collection thing is kind of interesting because it made me want to look up why Megami Tensei 1 was there, and I think it's literally just because Namco owns the rights to Megami Tensei 1 and 2, but not Kyoku.
Oh, I didn't know they didn't own Kyoku.
The only reason I say they probably don't own Kyoku is because when I was looking at it, like the Kyoku ports, it has Atlus's logo on them for the Wii in Japan and stuff. It has that logo, which makes me feel like Atlus maybe has some sort of ownership of that. But it's really weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Huh. That's cool. I didn't know that.
But, so, also, Maka, you also wanted us to talk about how Xenogears 2 didn't happen because of Final Fantasy Spirits Within.
Yes, and I only wanted to talk about that because it hurts. It hurts so bad.
Was this like recently unearthed or something?
It was... So we've known for a long time that Xenogears... So the whole thing with Xenogears is that it was... At the end of the game, like literally the very last twist is it shows the credits and then it shows the game's logo and then it fades in episode 5.
Oh.
Meaning that like they wanted it, this was supposed to be one big grand story that would take place over the course of 6 games, and you just played the 5th entry, the 5th one chronologically. And they wanted to keep telling the story, but Squaresoft at the time, they decided one reason we knew for the longest time is they decided they wanted to hone in on their best-selling franchises, so they only focused on games that sold at least 1 million copies, and Xenogears sold 900K.
Ouch.
So it was just under that, and it didn't happen. And then then that team that made Xenogears went off and formed Monolith Soft, made Xenosaga, and then Xenosaga was another attempt to tell Xenogears' story, and that failed. And then they went and made Xenoblade, which wasn't supposed to be a Xeno game, but then stuff happened. Anyway, they recently, because, Xenoblade Definitive Edition came out, they've been doing some interviews and press stuff, and the president and one of the founders of Monolith Soft talked about how part of the reason why Xenogears 2 didn't happen was because they wanted to make Final Fantasy Spirits Within, which is a garbage movie, and it was a massive failure. So it's just the kind of thing.
Not very.
It's just
good.
the kind of thing that, yeah, it's real bad. It's really bad. Weirdly enough, in my film classes, in my film history class, we talked. That was in our like history book. In our history book, it talked about Spirits Within, and it was really surreal to be talking about
strange.
that. Yeah, they talked about how it was supposed to be like, because they were gonna have like the main girl, she was gonna be the first virtual actress where she would like appear in other films, and stuff, and it was really weird.
That is weird.
I'll give him credit for that.
Like she like they treated her as if she was like an actual human person, where she was like on the cover of like magazines and stuff. And anyway, the film failed, so we never saw her again.
That's probably for the best.
But yeah, the entire reason why Xenoblade and Xenosaga happens is because Xenogears didn't sell enough, and also Squaresoft wanted to make a bad movie.
Yeah.
Well, Xenogears was like a scrapped plot for Final Fantasy VII in the first place too, wasn't it? So it was
to Final Fantasy. It was initially pitched as the first plot for Final Fantasy VII, and then they were like, "Yo, this is really good, but this is way too dark and complicated for Final Fantasy." So then they let them make it its own game.
Yeah.
And then all this other stuff happened, where the second disc is a dumpster fire.
Yeah, and
of
then
storytelling.
And then in our last and final bit of news, Bayonetta 3 not canceled.
Not canceled.
Not canceled.
We felt it was relevant because SMT5 is in basically the same camp.
Yeah.
We thought it was relevant because people apparently don't know how games are made. They don't come out just like, oh, trailer, there you go, it's available now. And they actually take the time to be made. And I think that if you're complaining about the game being in a quote-unquote development hell, just because you don't get any trailers, which is what you want, you're really entitled and you don't know what you're talking about, you should probably stop and just let them make the video game. Unless you like playing video games like Sonic Boom and, Sonic 06.
I remember, like, because I'm like the oldest person here. I remember, when I would get my Nintendo Power, like when I was like 10 or 11, and that's literally how I'd get any updates on the games. And when you read those articles, it doesn't say anything. It basically just goes, "Oh, we're super excited for the next Mario game. It's gonna have jumping," and it's like, "Cool, thanks."
Thank you.
When you get those updates from like SMT5, that's literally like, we're gonna give you an update next year.
Yeah.
Like it is kind of like nothing as well, but at the same time, I don't think we need that much reassurance to know that it's coming out. I don't follow Bayonetta at all, so I don't really know. The only thing I know about her is that she has ridiculously long legs, but I don't think that I think that we live in a weird society where there's so much information all the time because we have social media that we kind of expect to always get information about the games. Like, I think it's smart if they would do blogs and stuff, like just to give updates, because that's what Atlus does sometimes. They did that for RE Project Fantasy up until last year, and they did that for Catherine and Devil Survivor and stuff like that. But it's weird that companies will go and do that sometimes and not for other games. So I don't know why they wouldn't do that for Bayonetta 3, since it's a really high in demand game. I don't know why they wouldn't do that for SMT5. So that's kind of like the other side of it, but at the same time, I don't think I need it necessarily, because clearly when I made my video, no one had read any of those things, and everyone commented, "I thought this video would be 0 seconds long," and it's like, haha. Like, I wish I could like Jay and Silent Bob and punch you in the face, bro.
Oh, that's really violent. It's nice to know that you can't solve your conflict with words, Leo.
Well,
all right.
I stopped talking about it, except right now, and except inside of our group chat.
Yeah. Well, that's about it for news. Are there any other topics you guys want to talk about?
Talk about your artist. So how long have you been drawing for, SMT?
Me? Oh, I started drawing in like, I don't know, high school. So 6-7 years now. Oh, wait, longer than that. Oh, I'm old.
You could be like 18 and it'd be like, "Oh, I've been drawing since high school, since last year."
No, I'm. No, I've graduated college. So I'm a little old. Yeah.
That art for the podcast is literally the best thing about the podcast. No offense, everybody.
Shut up.
Shut up. Yeah, maybe it is the only good thing about it. You just made the podcast a whole lot worse because you're on here.
I'm about to kick you out of this chat.
Once the hour's over, you're gone.
Whatever.
Okay, but all right, so let's get into questions. Like, because we had a whole bunch of topics to talk about this week, I'm limiting it to just 15. So, and I'm also like, if there are any questions that we already answered on the podcast or we answered previous episodes, I'm just gonna skip them. So, like, if your question didn't get answered, just like, don't take it personal. It's just like, I get asked like, what's my favorite Megaton game, like, all the time. So
yeah, get over it. Like,
it's
no one's out to get you. Yeah,
it's Devil Survivor Overclocked. I should just make that my pin tweet. Favorite SMT is Devil Survivor Overclocked. All right. Okay. So first question is by Oziok, if that's how you pronounce it. I probably messed it up. But he asked, "What is your favorite videos of yours?" I guess like my favorite video that I've made is probably my it's probably my Persona 3 Orpheus only video.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, because I really like Persona 3, and like making that, I got to play that game with like, I guess from like a fresh perspective by doing that challenge. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like playing SMT4 with you for the no fusion thing, that was so much fun. That was so much fun. Yeah, because like SMT4 is not hard for me anymore, and I always wanted to go back to that feeling of, damn, it's kind of like difficult. I like need to strategize instead of just, oh, I know what this guy's weak to, just fuse this guy. That was so much fun, and the fact that I bricked my copy, or not my copy, my save, and I couldn't beat it, oh, that just made it so much better. Hardest game ever made. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right.
So. I'd say for me, my favorite, there are a couple of videos that I'm really proud of. The Atlus online store video, the my Limniscate videos.
I think that's my favorite video of yours.
Which one?
The AI, the Somnium Files, or I.
That, oh my god, that is almost 2 hours across both videos, and that took me literal months of work. I think I was making that from February 1st or the end of January all the way up to the midway through September. That video was like a nightmare, but it was totally worth it.
We can tell you were really passionate about it, and that's the best kind of video you can make.
Exactly. Otherwise, I think the video I'm like proudest of might actually be my Catherine video, because I feel like I actually really broke down my feelings in a way that's very, like, I just really broke down why I think Catherine is so good in a way that's really understandable. And I've been hearing from a lot of people that they couldn't really like work out their feelings, and after listening to my video or watching my video, they were like, oh, this actually is a really good explanation.
Yeah, I think that both, like, it's hard for me to choose my favorite of yours, because mostly when you talk about anything Atlus, it's usually super well researched and thorough. So I really like your Atlus store video a lot, because it did what you're saying Catherine did for a lot of people. It explained how I felt about it, but also it provided a lot of information that I didn't even know or consider. Same thing with your Catherine video. I never even thought about how other subtleties of the changes of the movements of the characters, so they're not repetitive. Like, I never like noticed it until you mentioned it. I'm like, this is actually a really good quality of life change that I never saw until I read your script and then I watched your video. So that's why I think
thanks.
My favorite of yours actually is the Catherine one.
Yeah. Thanks for in every video about Atlus. Thanks for acting as like a second reader to fact check everything and make sure it's all good.
You're good at facts.
Yeah,
a lot. So.
Honestly, I think part of the reason why I end up why I picked up a lot of this stuff with Catherine is because I've always had like a massive interest in film, and like particularly film studies. And I was trying to go for a film studies minor in college, but I had to drop it. But I still took like all but one class. And I think a lot of like just dissecting and really like picking apart that stuff just carried over into the videos.
Yeah, and Catherine's a pretty
that's important stuff to know.
Oh yeah, Catherine is easily Atlus's most cinematic game they've made.
Yeah, I think the only thing that comes close for me is Nocturne, but I feel like with Nocturne, it's more of the cinematic approach to the cutscenes.
Yeah. Persona 5 can kind of get there in the cutscenes where they decide to use in-engine graphics to like the Awakenings mainly. Yeah. Like it can kind of get there, but those are so few and far between.
I feel like those are like just Hollywood ass. Like, I mean, obviously, yeah, it looks good, but I don't think any of them have been really dynamic except for maybe Yusuke's. And I liked what's her name, the annoying one with the bike, Makoto. I liked hers because it was the little action whatever there was nice. Haru's was fine too, if for the sake of it being like pretty campy. I thought it did a good job of what it does, but I'm kind of with LaRue saying that Nocturne is like one of the most cinematic ones out there from like a shot perspective, like a shot by shot. It looked like it was filmed, or I guess sequence to be like an actual movie with actual like establishing shots and things like that. I love that. And the fact that instead of having like stock animations like a lot of the other SMT and Persona games do, where they just have, you know, characters standing still in engine and or not in engine, in game, and just waving their arms around or flailing it, or I hate it when they do that because it's like 90% of the game. So having Nocturne, all their cutscenes being, you know, animated on their own, you know, when somebody speaks, their mouth moves. When, you know, they want to do something, they move. I love that so much. You know, Digital Devil Saga did that too. All of their cutscenes were like a movie. And I kind of wish they would go back to doing that, but I kind of understand that for larger games like Persona 5, they can't really do that. It costs mad money. I don't know. If I was selfish and had things the way I wanted, that's what I'd do.
Do you think SMT5 will go down that route?
Absolutely.
I pray.
Not even a question. I absolutely think it will.
Yeah.
I think at worst it'll be like Raido Kuzunoha, where it's like the dialogue boxes and you have like the character models talking above it, as opposed to like static images like SMT4.
Yeah. Well, we're getting a little sidetracked here.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Let's keep going.
LaRue, what's your video you're most proud of?
Go, Dad.
Is it your response to me?
Oh, it's your turn, LaRue, not me.
Yeah.
Oh, me? Okay. My
Idiot.
favorite video, literally my Jack Frost plushes video. I had the most fun making that video because I love talking about merch, and it was something that basically all my videos tend to be so labor intensive in terms of like research. I have to like look at all these books and like try to translate things, or I'll bounce things off of Spider because she's the only person I know that like knows enough that she can help me fact check and stuff. Because and I like doing that a lot, but with the Jack Frost video, it just was fun. It was light, and I got to like talk about merch. So I felt like that's why I liked it so much. I actually kind of hate my response to you because it comes off so pretentious, and I want to delete it, but at the same time I'm like, it's got a thousand views. That's a lot for me.
It's okay.
Shut up.
All right.
My favorite video, my favorite video is not actually on my channel. It's on LaRue's channel. I like videos where it's just folk hanging out. That's why I like doing this podcast. So mine and LaRue's Persona 5 tier list, because me and LaRue, we hate each other, so we bounce off of each other very well. And I rewatch it solely just because I love, not LaRue, I love hanging out with LaRue. I love just talking to him about things. I don't know why I said it like that. I like talking to him about things because we have similar opinions but different. I don't know. We have it's the same but different. I don't make no sense, but it makes sense, if that makes sense. Like, and so going over like that tier list and watching us like having different reasons for liking the same characters, but also him convincing me that a blank character is good or better than what I thought, and vice versa, me convincing him that a character is better than he thought. That was really fun. I love that, and I want to do it again. I like having LaRue in my videos. That's why I always pressure him and force him at gunpoint to edit my scripts, because I like it when he fact checks me and he gives me information because he's nice.
All right.
I love you.
All right, so yeah, so most of the questions, most of these questions I'm gonna skip because again I've already answered them on different episodes. Like again, if I don't answer your question, don't take it personally. It's just I'm trying to stick to questions that I haven't answered. Okay, next question is by Furnace, and he asks, do you think if Nocturne would have a re-release nowadays, it could sell 1 million copies, or at least sell more than SMT4 did, counting the popularity of Atlus nowadays?
Yes.
I don't know more than SMT4, but I do think...
Oh, for sure it will, because Nocturne is considered a cult classic, meaning that everyone likes it now, but nobody actually cared to buy it. But now that everyone's gassing that game up, and SMT fans are basically guilt-tripping Persona fans into playing SMT games, if Nocturne were to be re-released or remade or remastered on the Switch, a lot of people would buy it. Like, a lot of people would buy it. Even on PC, it would go dumb. It would go crazy.
I think a lot of people are all talk about that kind of stuff, though. Like, Wonderful 101 was a cult classic, supposedly, and it didn't sell very well when it re-released, did it?
Yeah. Now they're porting it to PC and PS4.
Yeah, I
And
think it
Switch.
sold less than 6,000 units in Japan, and, it's open, and that is actually garbage.
Well, I mean, it's
That's
on the
where
Wii
no,
U, so
that's not as no, that's worse than Persona 3 Dancing.
It
Well,
is.
No, it's not as bad because individual Persona 3 Dancing sold less than 3,000. I thought it was 8,000.
Oh wow, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think it would sell 1 million copies. Actually, I could see it selling
It'd
around
sell
like
a bazillion.
No, it would sell like 700K max because even though it's a good game and it looks really good, like it still looks good to this day, in my opinion. It's still not like mainstream enough. It's
Yeah.
like there's a lot of games that are like really good looking and play well, but just because they don't hit that mainstream market, it's not gonna work. I think that it would just sell better than it did before, but it wouldn't like hit 1 million for sure.
I agree. It's like inherently niche. It's
yeah.
hard to sell to
I mean,
people.
I think it'll sell well. I think 1 million's a bit of a stretch.
I
Now I'm about in the same boat.
Do you think it'd sell as well as Persona 4 on PC is
No.
doing right now? Do
No.
you think it would match those numbers?
Honestly, maybe.
I don't. I mean,
Like as of right now, not all time.
yeah.
How much did SMT4 sell again?
It's not like me. I mean, the last report was like 600,000. So my assumption is around 750 now. That's kind of
Yeah.
somewhere.
I think it could sell probably as well as SMT4.
Then
I definitely think that's possible. I don't think it could sell a million, but I think it could sell as well. I think it could at least sell 600,000.
I'm just the only reason I'm skeptical about that is because SMT4 also got that boost from the Fire Emblem, promotion.
The
That
cross
is true.
promotion.
Sorry, what?
It was a promotion that if you buy that game in Fire
Yeah.
Emblem Awakening, you get $20.
Something like
Yeah.
that. All right, next question is by Heroin Kurim. He asked, do you think Atlus will release translated ports of Japanese exclusive games for the PC/Switch/PS4? I mean, I want it, but no, I don't.
Yeah, I also think that.
Like, I want it, but I don't think they will.
The market is gone. They will never do that unless Devil Summoner 1 on the Sega Saturn becomes the most desirable game of all time, and even then, they would never do it.
I mean, Devil Summoner
What are you
1
talking about?
Steam port.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do it because for them to want to port it, there would have to be a high demand, and there's not a high demand, especially not for PC and Switch in Japan.
Yeah,
In Japan, all what is PS4.
let's
basically.
let's start spamming hashtags. Hashtag break free Devil Summoner.
I'd do
Hashtag
it.
break free SMT9.
I think I know a couple do it.
Hashtag break free Devil Summoner. No, not the one we actually got. That other one. Make it the longest hashtag we can.
Alright, okay, so next one is by Spire Luigi. What do you think is the worst demon of all in all of SMT, whether it be because of gameplay or design-wise?
Black Frost.
Bruh.
Die in real life.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just Black Frost is always the avatar of just every stupid, short, idiot scumbag on the internet. Every stupid person, every stinky person, every gremlin, Grimbo looking stupid idiot who's like 5'5" in real life could probably beat me up if he brought his stepping stool. His profile picture is Black Frost. I don't know. It's just a coincidence.
There isn't Black Frost on Discord though, so you're wrong. It's dope.
I think my least favorite in terms of design would be Odin, like the original Odin, because he's a naked man in a Viking helmet.
Then you wouldn't like original Loki.
No, I don't like him either. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
People dunk
I'd have
on Zeus, the Strange Journey Redux Zeus, but I think Ball Zeus is probably one of the worst things in the world.
Oh yeah, the one from
Ball Zeus
Kyoyaku.
Ball
makes me
Zeus is
mad.
actually awful.
Yeah, it makes me mad that they went, okay, this is a super important deity, with a lot of lore that we can definitely like compact into his design. Let's make him a ball.
Hey, come on, man! Don't talk about Elohim like that. He didn't do nothing wrong.
I think I'd have to agree with Ball Zeus is probably one of the worst, but I also think, honestly, I think Zeus just hasn't had good luck with designs at all, because even in like the Zeus design in Q is literally
Oh my god!
It was a thrown away Etrian Odyssey design that they just decided to call Zeus, and it's the most like, what is this thing? Why is this Zeus? It's only Zeus because you had a design that you wanted to reuse, and you were like, well, what do we call him? I think Zeus just hasn't had a good luck at all.
For me personally, I think a lot of the demon designs that I like the least are the ones that are super derivative or almost just one for one copied from the source material. I just think that Cosmic Onigo could have done something different. He just chose not to because he's lazy.
Yeah.
Like, are there
Like
any?
Ukobak. Yeah, Ukobak. I don't remember the others. I know Decarabia is just a pennant. He's like a star or something. He's something,
he's
and they just decided, hey, make him a starfish instead. Like, what the?
He's cute.
Yeah, he's cute, but it's not a very good design. I mean, like, look at him in SMT1. He looks ugly. He looks like he's on meth. Decarabia in SMT1 is meth. The literal definition. You look up meth in the dictionary, it's Decarabia.
Yeah, he do be looking kind of shriveled.
Decarabia.
Shut up.
Decarubia.
I've said it Decarabia the whole time. If it's wrong, then I'm wrong.
Decarabia.
I've always said it how LaRue said it, Decarabia.
I say Decarabia, but I screw up pronunciations of like everything because I'm Southern.
Well,
So
I don't know
Anybody
the
like
actual-
Mother Harlot?
shut up.
Actually, the worst demon design is Kartikeya.
What?
Or Kazar.
Aw. Wait, is that the pig one?
No,
Oh,
Kartikeya is the guy that's riding the bird. I'm just making fun of the way Yarly pronounces it.
Oh my god.
Early, you need to get kicked off of this podcast ASAP.
What are you gonna do?
Okay.
Replace me?
Wait, I think I figured out my least favorite one, actually. I mentioned, I think it's Katakirawa. That's the pig I was thinking of, but I'm thinking of Kamapua, the pig that's like cooking a sausage.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. It's,
Yeah.
it's the guy with the staff, right? The little lizard.
Does it have a staff?
I think it's the one with the cape, right?
I think it has a cape, yeah. I
Yeah,
haven't
that one,
looked it up in a while.
he looks kind of cute, but like, yeah, I can understand why you don't like a design. It's just kind of out there. I think Harry Jack.
The
looks
thing is, I
pretty
like all of
ugly.
the designs. That's like the one I like least.
I hate Harry Jack because of the dumb Jack Bros meme. Every time I mention Jack Bros, people go, "Oh, Harry Jack and Jack Bros."
God, what was that
Worst thing
one?
about-
I just remembered this one demon. It looks like it's CG. Oh, I can't remember what it is.
Chemtrail
Oh.
from SMT4.
No, that thing was great.
Yeah, Chemtrail.
Yeah,
I
Oh,
do
yeah,
not like
Chemtrail.
Chemtrail. Chemtrail looks weird to me.
It is the coolest demon in that game.
Well,
I think
like
the worst
I mean,
design from SMT4 is probably either Asmodeus or Masakato.
Oh, I like a lot of the
I mean,
SMT4 designs. Like a lot of them.
I'm trying to. Honestly, I think my least favorite demon from SMT4 is probably Lilith.
Really?
I mean, because
I feel like that was the one that was actually kind of good. Like out of all of them, that was probably like one of the best.
Basically, all the new demon designs are my least favorite.
I like Lilith and Michizune.
okay,
Those are the two
actually,
that
no, I
liked the
take that
best.
back. All the
I like all the Archangels. Shit, I like most of the boss designs. I love Medusa.
the demon
hate them.
demon designs I don't like are all the ones that are just palette swaps of other demons. Like Plasma, he's
Yeah,
just a palette
Chemtrail.
swap of Chemtrail.
Oh
And then-
my god!
Oh yeah.
And then Ashma, he's just blue as he's just white Asmodeus.
He's
Tamlin.
racist, Asmodeus.
Yeah.
I like all the angels though. I really like the angel designs actually, and
I would
Bob
if
or
it was an
whatever.
intentional design. I would love it if it was an intentional design. But I was talking to Spider about this. Yeah, he just did it. Oh, I was just doing what I was doing. It just conveniently happened to fit the theme of parallels between the two. Like, come on, dog. Take the credit. Just pretend like, oh yeah, that was my
Maybe
plan
he
the
was
whole
being
time.
super false modest, like a lot of like designers kind of tend to do.
I guess.
Yeah, saving face or whatever.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Next question is, it's asked by Haru, but and then the crying smiley emoji. It said, would Will Smith qualify to be King of Bel Air? Or sorry, would Will Smith qualify to be King of Bel since he is the Fresh Prince of Bel Air?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if so, how strong of a Belle would he be? Which other Belles could he defeat? I think he could defeat all of them.
I felt
Yeah,
like you had a really funny joke with the first half, but you just kept going at it, and now it's just not funny anymore.
I think
Okay.
I think Will Smith is bad, and I hope that if he was in that situation, that that he would die immediately.
Bruh.
Oh my god!
Jesus, are you his dad or
could you-
something?
how
Why
could
don't you love him anymore?
How could you not like
I
Will
used to
Smith?
love Will Smith in the 90s, and I'm just imagining all the awful Will Smith movies I watched up till now. I'm just like, he's the weakest Belle for sure.
He's the least entertaining Belle.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. Kristen Bell's pretty bad.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she lets it go, doesn't she? Or isn't she the Frozen girl now?
Shut up.
Okay. All right. Next question is, let's see. Next question is by Caddy, and she asks, would you guys want SMT5's music to follow the usual ambient / punk / rock vibe, or go for a more different direction with its OST?
if it sounds like SMT4, I'm in. No
Yeah,
matter what.
you just listed like the theme of like 5 individual different SMT
Yeah.
games. Like Nocturne and Strange Journey are kind of ambient. You know, other ones are more punk, like
I mean,
SMT4 and
Strange Journeys more like
Yeah.
orchestra. But then he says, I personally am curious how an SMT OST would sound with an ambient jazz flavor.
no.
I would
Ew.
I want Jazz to
No.
die.
Maybe a
too.
spin-off.
No more.
Maybe a spin-off.
Well, I mean, Persona 4, kinda.
No.
I
Like if I feel like Atlus doesn't understand what jazz is because everyone says that Persona 5 is acid jazz. I spent like an entire like 6 eons listening to a bunch of acid jazz music like last month. It doesn't sound anything like that. Maybe it's acid jazz inspired. I'd understand that with Shoji Meguro's typical way of making music, but no, I just feel like none of them know what actual jazz is, and I'm just like,
Yep.
damn.
Weird that Dad said something factual for a change.
shut up.
I just don't want jazz in Megaten anymore. We had so many jazz inspired things. Raito was jazz inspired. Persona 5 is jazz inspired.
You can say that Persona
yeah.
4 was kind of jazz inspired
he also
too.
says-
There's a lot of music in there.
He also says in
Some tracks in
parentheses, not the funk
Wait, what?
type like P5, but more freeform / bebop style. That's what he says.
I mean, like, it's not like I don't dig it, but I don't think it fits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I say just do whatever fits with the game because SMT is pretty good doing that.
I would be really interested in SMT4 was kind of like this, but I'd be really interested to see some kind of like more like a soundtrack that's more like electronic and synth
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. I think that would like it would totally fit, but it would also give it more of an identity. 4 had some electronic songs in it, but it was still very punky. I'd
They
be
carry
curious to
balance
see
with,
what
like, industrial. and
yeah,
stuff.
I think it would be really interesting to hear if they went full electronic synth kind of thing, but with like a dark edge to it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like you can lose a lot from doing that, though. Don't you?
Well, I think what made 4 such a good soundtrack to me, it's literally probably the best mainline like of the numbered soundtracks. If
Hell
only-
yeah.
it's
I'd
like
agree.
a love. So many of the songs take a lot of inspiration from previous SMT songs, and if you're a longtime fan, you'll be like, "Oh, that's from SMT2, that's from SMT1," and I think that they did it so well. Kaduka is one of the best like composers from Megaten.
He's the best.
Yeah.
One of the best. Two other
He's
ones
the
are-
best.
Yeah, but
neither of them work for Atlas anymore. But
Don't
yeah,
say
but Meguro,
Tsukasa
though.
Masuko is better. Do not say Tsukasa Masuko is better.
Katsumitsuko is better.
Oh, I'm gonna body you.
Was better.
Let's go.
Caligula is not a good OST, and I have that one.
Exactly. Ryota Kazuka has never made a bad song in his life, and if it has, it's been a remix of a Persona song that was not originally created by him, and it was bad to begin with.
the other remakes.
Okay.
The point is, I think that if they just focus on making the game soundtrack fit whatever, because like that, the music that we get, the ambient music we get in the trailer, is really good. Like it's really good for what it is.
Mhm.
I think that as long as Kaduka or someone who's competent like him is, leading that game, then it's gonna be good music no matter what it is. I just don't hope they make jazz. Please no more jazz or jazz inspired, really.
Yeah, I think one of the best things about SMT4's soundtrack is how atmospheric it is, And I don't know how you fit jazz into an atmosphere like SMT. It just seems a little out of place.
Yeah. All right, so
I think it's worked with spin-offs, but not mainline. I don't think it would work with mainline.
all right, so next question is by Miles Preed. What I probably am screwing up all these, but what are your hopes for the future of Atlus games on next-gen systems?
I hope they're good.
Yeah, that.
I hope.
I mean, we don't have
so
to.
I can play on my old consoles.
We don't have to wait 9 years for Persona 6, even though we probably will.
Good.
I'll wait for it if it's good. Seriously.
Oh, okay. To give an actual question or answer, my bad. To give an actual answer, because Katsura Hishino is not a part of Persona anymore, I kind of feel like even though he makes a lot of stupid decisions as like the director of a game, I feel like he was the last person really keeping Persona somewhat Megaten and not just being like another generic anime RPG. I just hope, because I don't know anything about the guy who's, taking his position as director. I just hope that the new guy keeps, at least some semblance of Megaten, because I feel like that's what makes Persona like stand out from other, social sim JRPGs, because there's a lot now. And I hope that, they can keep at least a little bit of, the integrity that Persona still has left. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, isn't the guy who did Royal taking over? I felt like a lot of Royal's new content with the, sort of the ambiguity of it and the mystery behind it, Azathoth, it felt kind of older Persona, so maybe he's a good direction to take it.
I just want like an entire Persona game that's like the third semester in Royal.
Mm-hmm.
Minus Akechi.
Okay. All right.
Never have another character like Akechi, meaning only have characters with personalities, please.
Even the Makoto is in the game. All right. Next question is by Miguel CG, and he says, "In which setting would you like to see a future SMT take place?"
Tokyo.
Not Tokyo. Just
Antarctica.
Just like not Tokyo, please. I'm just tired of it.
Somewhere in a small town or something. Or maybe like a jungle.
I'd be really interested to see them go back to the initial pitch for SMT1, where it's like a globetrotting sort of thing, where it's like multiple different like areas that have to do with religion.
Yeah, and then
though honestly, if they went to Jerusalem, that would get real. That'd be real touchy.
Final conflict was supposed to end in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I saw somewhere that Japanese fans wanted Persona to potentially go to overseas. Specifically, they mentioned New York, and I'm like, that sounds cool for SMT, actually.
Yeah.
Imagine SMT in a gritty city like New York.
You said that was Japanese fan or Westerns fans?
Oh, I saw it was a Japanese poll, so I don't know.
Japanese fans want it. We want it. I don't see why they keep putting it in Tokyo.
The crazy part about it is, if it's in New York, you wouldn't be able to tell who are demons and who are humans, because New York is so...
Shut up. Yo, imagine an SMT game in Chicago. Oh my, or Detroit. Oh, put it in Detroit. Guns will be so overpowered to be like SMT1 all over again.
It wouldn't even be an SMT. Like the demons wouldn't even be there. You'd just be fighting people.
Yeah, just be like Soul Hacker. Yes, just like SMT1 then, because half the enemies are just Messiahs and Gaians. There's like 50 of them.
What if they put it in New York and they made all the characters look hyper realistic, and then they filled it with a bunch of like anime characters from some magazine, like I don't know, including one of them being one of the most best-selling games of all time, or manga of all time, and then they went and made it a fighting game.
What if they just made Def Jam anime characters?
Hell yeah.
Okay, all right. Next question is by Flynn is clearly disappointed. He asks, should SMT5 have the smirk mechanic?
No.
Yes.
Nah.
Maybe?
Like,
No.
I encourage rewarding people for being smart.
So
and
you like-
also giving the boss a way to sweep you in one hit.
No.
I mean, I didn't like the smirk mechanic in SMT4. I tolerated it in Apocalypse.
Because
but-
they nerfed it. They made it useless.
Yeah,
That's
no,
why
they
you
made it
liked
good. Like, they made certain
useless
moves have effects if you're smirking.
Yeah, that means they're useless otherwise. That means they are just another way of doing happy slaps. The whole point of, having those skills is that they cost a lot of magic, and now, like, that's the balance with it. Like, they should probably just nerf magic. Like, keep smirking. I think that's fine. Just nerf all the other things that make it
I don't know.
overpowered.
Like, I'd be okay with it if it was like Apocalypse, but I'd rather just not see it.
SMH. I'll play
Accept
Persona
it.
6.
I'm gonna fart.
I'm gonna get really mad and I'm gonna stomp my feet and I'm gonna tweet at Atlas to give me SMT5 because clearly SMT5 is dead and it's never gonna come out. I'm actually crying. What the
I'm
fuck?
gonna
Get really into it.
I'm gonna become a Call of Duty YouTuber. Like all the channels I watched when I was a kid.
I'm gonna eat uncooked corn.
I'm gonna fart.
You're gonna fart anyway.
Yes.
You just reminded me of this video I saw of a girl in a Harley Quinn costume who farts.
Tell me more, please.
What are you watching, bro?
It was in one of those commentary videos. Someone I forgot which commentary guy did it, but he had cut it into the content. I thought it was really funny. And now that I said it a lot, I'm pretty sure it was a fetish.
Pretty sure.
I don't even want to talk to
Possibly.
you right now. Next question, please.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, no, I already answered that one. Let's see. With Persona. Well, we already talked about that one too. Okay, that's not really a question. Let's see. What do you think about the concept of what do you think about the concept of final boss being another Messiah in Megaton?
What do you mean?
So like the final boss is like Demi-Fiend or
Yeah,
Flynn.
something like that.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
I feel like having the crossovers like that should only really be for like direct sequels like Apocalypse or for crossover DLC.
Yeah.
I don't think I would want the like main story to be like this is a completely separate game, but then yeah.
That reminds me of when I was like 14 or 15 and I just beat SMT4, I just beat Nocturne, I just beat SMT2, and I was like,
Dude, wouldn't it be sick if for SMT5 the Chaos Hero was Demi-Fiend and the Law Hero was Aleph? It would be so cool if they all fought at the end of the game and you killed them all because you're better than them.
like, that's like some fan fiction things that I made up when I was in high school. Like
Wow,
nasty.
you're still just as cringe now. I feel like that sort of thing is cool if it's relegated to DLC, because that's what DLC should be. It should be some sort of like fan service that incentivizes you to buy it. Shouldn't be broken dumb stuff like most DLC is for SMT. Like, if you bought the DLC for Deep Strange Journey, like you'll know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, they shouldn't be having DLC for re-releases, which is why I don't buy them.
I bought it. I bought it for a video I'm making, and I was like, this DLC literally makes the game broken, like more broken than it already was.
Well, I mean, Persona 5 Royal, or well, not Royal, just vanilla P5 DLC. Like the DLC personas are just so overpowered.
You need to make a part 2 of your DLC video, because that's actually my favorite video you did, because it made me angry. Not at you, but it made me anger you you were sitting out in the video, I was like suddenly angry too by proxy. I'm like, man, I hate Atlus. Then I proceeded to buy a Persona 5 Royal anyway.
Okay. Next question is by PL Dark Yagami. Could SMT be on PlayStation and Persona be on Nintendo?
I don't see why not. It's not likely.
I guess.
But
Yeah, it's perfectly possible, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Atlus is
Anything's
just too
possible.
about this.
I mean, I
Atlus
think
is just really.
I think
I'd
the
be
way
happy-
Atlus. Well, I was gonna say, I think the way Atlus sees it is just like Persona's more associated with PlayStation, and SMT is more associated with Nintendo. But I mean, with Golden on PC and like Nocturne and stuff, like we've seen that they're willing to put it on other consoles. So I guess it just depends.
Yeah.
I mean, if SMT if SMT 9 had did well enough, like we could have seen more SMT games on Xbox.
Yeah, that's true.
imagine a world like that.
Imagine Persona 5 Royal on the Xbox One.
That would be
No.
weird.
Would you buy an Xbox One for it?
About it.
No.
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 But then again, if it was on Xbox One, it would also be on PC.
Yes, I would.
Okay, so let's see. We are at 13. I'll go back, see some that we missed. Okay, Persona 4 Ever asks, with P4 Golden now on PC, what mods do you wish and not wish to see in the game? I mean, like I said, I just want to see, like... I want to see some Persona fan games, and I don't want to see... I don't want to see Nanako romance mods, please.
You just wish that.
Weird. Why would you bring that up?
Someone... Okay, there's one of the replies brought it up, so I just thought of it.
Weird. Why are people like that? It's not even funny. That's just weird. Imagine joking about, hey, should I date this 6-year-old girl? As a joke, though. Shut up.
I'm
But
calling
what
it
if
out.
though?
Freak. I want a mod that takes Marie out and just gives you the original part of... Did we talk about this already? Or was this before the podcast? Yeah. Take out Marie, take out Adachi's social link. Just make it vanilla Persona 4, except with Golden's changes.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yes, but I would like a mod that's just like dumb, like you know how when you see the like GTA mods that has like Jack Frost or something. I want like that, but Persona 4, so maybe everybody could be Black Cloud.
You turn Yu Narukami into CJ from GTA.
That would be
That'd
funny.
be a funny mod. Everybody, it's instead of it taking place in Japan, it takes place in like Compton.
I saw somebody mod Tsubasa in GTA San Andreas.
As in TMS?
Yes.
Ooh. You make her a pedestrian and beat her up.
Oh,
I think in terms of like a mod I would like to see, as mentioned before, like remake mods where like people try and like remake the other older like Persona games in there. Those would be really like take a lot of effort and a lot of time, but I still think that would be really cool. Otherwise, the mods I don't want to see are certain, let's call them fix mods. I think I've talked about this already on Twitter, but I kind of don't want to see those fix mods because it's a stupid subject.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Ugh, Atlas, I fixed your game for you. Hire me, please.
Yeah.
I think the only mods that I'm particularly interested in seeing, I want to see a lot, but I'd like to see someone make actual dungeons for the game.
That too, I would also really like to see those.
Oh yeah, and well, another mod I'd like to see would be some SMT and other Persona costumes.
Yes,
Or
please.
you mentioned it before. You said you wanted a DLC that gives us more personas.
Yeah, that's
Well, the mods, not DLC.
Or yeah, not DLC.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Oh, they should make a Nanafiend mod too, where Nanako, instead of listening to the GNF theme, she listens to Fierce Battle.
I want
Shut
a
us
mod. I want a mod that like actually makes the killer random.
Oh,
Oh,
Where where like the story could still like maybe they could rewrite, because they wouldn't have to rewrite a whole lot. They would just have to rewrite like a lot of the stuff towards the end, but then like rewrite it so it's like it could actually be other random characters. So like it could end up being Nanako or
So whoever you
something.
pick is just right, regardless. You could pick like Kojima, and he'd be like in the hospital bed, like you couldn't quit while you were ahead, couldn't you?
You figured it out. I tried to kill myself.
Make one where Nanako's the killer.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
Honestly, I just came up with that on the spot, but I honestly, now that I said it, I think it would be really cool if there's some kind of mod that would just like actually make it random.
Bro, you're the
who the
smartest
killer
human
is.
being alive.
Yeah, that's literally the best idea that's been said. Actually, I would.
Because the game already sets it up where like there are a couple of characters that would be viable for it. So like
Yeah.
it
I kind
wouldn't-
of like, just to go off on a tangent for a sec. I kind of want to see what Persona 4 would have played out if they made Yukiko the killer. You know,
Was she
like
gonna
that would
be?
have been. I think it was like a rumor or something, and I think I think in an interview they debunked it or said that it wasn't ever intended to happen. It was like an idea that they threw away. I kind of want to see what that would be like. You feel me? Like that would be kind of cool.
All right, but so yeah, that is it for this episode. Thank you guys for listening, and be sure to tune in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's gonna be the foot episode.
Yeah.
Stinky.
also rip Gabmu. She
Rip.
she died.
Yeah.
She died. That's why she's not here.
Never to be heard from
Her-
again.
Her tummy hurt, so she died.
In real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. F.
Thanks
That's in
for
the
being
chat.
on the show, SMT. Thank you for making the artwork. You did an amazing
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. Go
Thanks
go.
for being on the show, LaRue. We'll never ever invite you ever again.
We will no longer talk to you after this.
Good. I liked. This is like the peak of my career anyway. So whatever.
Yeah.
No, don't say that. You're great. Listen,
You're-
have a little confidence, you freak.
You're
confident.
You like Zero Escape, so you're pretty okay in my book.
I also like TMS, which is
Ooh.
feedback.
Yeah, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Get him out of
Oh,
here. Here.
shit.
Podcast over.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Hiya.